So Bob, how
Good.
Good hands, John. You be our point guard.
I'll pass it.
yeah, yeah. How
You just
difficult?
did.
How difficult to test Wednesday? Is this one going to be?
Oh, they're really good. They're really, really good. Athletic as can be. They remind me of some of the teams of the past. I mean, they just do a great job in transition, really rebound it. Superior athletes.
How do you prepare when you got some guys that aren't going to be playing Sananga and Martin? Do you even dummy any of that, or you just work off of what you saw from Grambling?
I'm worried more about us than I am anything. We're struggling. Trying to get us fixed.
Rebounding margin for them is pretty significant. That's got to be near the top, if not the top of your concerns.
I have many concerns. I'd have to. It's hard to sit here and put them in order. You know, when they're multiple, it's takes a little more time.
Like what? Give us a few examples.
Well, trying to get them to throw it to a team that has the same color shirt they have on. They're struggling with that. They're throwing the ball around. Our turnovers, we don't rebound it. Other than a couple guys, we haven't made shots. We haven't made free throws. And then we keep going.
Up to you.
I guess Wednesday you're looking for a ratcheting up of intensity and effort and all of that against these guys.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know why it hasn't been that way. I mean, it's always been that way. And you can't blame it all on the portal. You can't blame it all on incoming guys. You know, we've got a core of older guys that should be better. Certainly should play a heck of a lot harder.
Status for Sean.
It's probably day to day, I would guess. Why you ask me those questions? I don't
People want
know.
to know. Inquiring minds.
Well, they want to know. I'd like to know too, but
I don't know how.
well, I know you're dying to ask me a question.
Just the idea of playing against UConn again, an old Big East rival, is it kind of cool in your eyes, or do you even think about that kind of stuff?
I kind of thought about it till I watched them play. They're good. I mean, Danny's got a really good team. They're deep. They're so athletic. You know, they can score multiple ways. They got a lot of guys who can score. They really defend. I wish we were a little better at this time. Hopefully we get better, but I wish we were a little better at this time. Be a better game.
You feel like your pressure defense can kind of give them problems? They had some issues against VCU and some other teams handling that.
We don't really play pressure. I mean, if you look at who we've played and if we really were really good at pressure, it wouldn't have been as close as what it's been. We're just trying to fix one thing at a time.
You know Danny well?
Yeah.
Known him before. Fun challenge.
No, the whole family. No, I mean, I got great respect for Danny. Did a great job as a prep school coach and moved into the college level and's done a fantastic job.
He's a coach's son. You're a coach's son. You have an appreciation for what he's done, being a coach's son.
I have appreciation for what coaches' sons go through. If his experience was anything like mine,
His dad was a pretty fired up guy.
yeah.
Coach at a Catholic school, you have to be, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but John, my dad used to say, "Oh, we don't take it home." That was one of the few things he said that wasn't totally accurate. But
Did he bring home to the gym?
bring home to the gym? No, I don't think so.
No.
My mother wouldn't let him. I don't think. No.
Coach, you were talking the other night that Cindy's been getting better. Polly's obviously been getting better. You throw them in with Isaiah and Damon and your other bigs. This matchup tomorrow. How much of this is going to be, whether or not your bigs play like big guys? I mean, is this seems like kind of a big boy game here tomorrow.
I'm trying to think how I say this properly. Cindy had a really good week, and I mean, you saw the Radford game. He wasn't very good, and he knows he wasn't very good. So, I think Cindy is Cindy's got size and length, but he's it doesn't do you much good if you don't use it. Paulie Paulie's undersized. I mean, Paulie's 6'6". He's not any bigger than that. But he's been really active, and he's been without a question our best inside guy. And I don't think there's any doubt about it. He's been our best guy. He's our best guy in practice. He's our best guy in the games. But he's undersized.
Do you have any moments of memory from UConn games of the past? Joe Alexander with a dunk.
I knew that was going to come up somehow. I didn't want him to do it, but because he was kind of waiting for him. That's Joe.
Any others? Games, moments you remember against them?
I remember getting thrown out of UConn.
What'd you say? What'd you do?
Probably not as much as Calhoun, but I was the opposition. So,
Kind of a turning point that season, though.
pardon?
It's kind of a turning point that season, though. Locker room speech.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
I wasn't there. That's what I heard.
Yeah. See, you miss a lot.
Well, I was in the city. I wasn't in the locker room.
In the locker room. Well, I'd said it again when I went out on the radio. You weren't listening to the
Two,
radio.
aren't I? Yeah. You beat him right before they won the 2011 title. You remember that game here? Last one, Missoula had.
Not really. No, I remember how well they played in the Final Four. Played terrific.
What do you think about Calhoun retiring this time, assuming it's permanent this time?
I'm happy for him, whatever it is that makes him happy. I mean, it's. I think I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point where, you think about maybe retiring, and I think then I look at guys that have retired, and then all of a sudden they really don't want to be retired. They don't. We're so used to doing what we do day in and day out, and so used to being around young people day in and day out, and then you say, well, I've had enough of this, and then all of a sudden, about a week later, you say, what the hell did I do? And I mean, that's been a lot of guys, and a lot of guys I've got tremendous respect for. That just, I don't know if they did it too soon. I don't know because I haven't done it yet. But I mean, I could see where, Jim missed basketball, obviously, or he wouldn't have went and coached the whatever that school was, D3 or whatever it was, 2. I don't know what it was, but he wouldn't have done that if he didn't miss it.
Has this become a job for you yet, or is it still?
Nah. No, I knew what a job was, Bob. My dad made sure I knew what a real job was. Yeah. I haven't had a shovel in my hand in you don't know how long.
We need it when you're talking now.
Or a hammer, or a screwdriver, or anything else.
What about a screwdriver?
Yeah, no. Came home one day, went from a game, and my wife said, the door's broken, the hinge is broken. I said, well, call somebody to fix it. My dad was there, and he said, well, that's what I had you do all those things I had you do for, so that you wouldn't have to call someone else. I said, no, you can't have it both ways.
When I was talking about your bigs, I forgot to throw Gabe in there. How much, I mean, your collection of bigs, is this a benchmark game for them in terms of, how far they've developed or come, or how much they can help you guys moving forward?
I wouldn't put Gabe in that category. I mean, Gabe's already played a couple years against a lot of people. I think our other guys probably, yeah, but not Gabe. But who knows, because Gabe doesn't stay in the game long enough to find out. So
R.J. Cole, what does he do well?
everything. He's really good. He's really good. He can get him in offense. He can score. He defends. He's a really good rebounder for whatever he is, 6'1" guy. And he, to me, just from the outside looking in, I mean, it looks like he's the guy that runs the show. He's the guy that makes everything happen. He's the guy that makes sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
You mentioned the rebounding on the 3-ball. They've been on a roll in some games. The Auburn game comes to mind where they shot it lights out. That's got to be another big concern. Them getting on a roll shooting threes.
I don't know if it's just on a roll getting threes. They can score so many different ways. I think they're as good a transition team as I've seen in quite a while. They're really good in transition. They really get out and run. They fill lanes. They finish. They're a really good rebounding team, and that's their whole team. That's just not it's just not a few guys. They all go rebound and keep balls alive. They're really good defensively. They don't give up a whole lot of penetration.
Push the ball and makes.
They push it on anything. But they're so long, they're so long, they're so athletic, they get their hands on balls, and whether they actually steal them or they deflect them where somebody else steals them, they make a lot of good things happen for them.
You mentioned, not you mentioned necessarily, but Joe Alexander dunk was mentioned. And how do you inject Jalen Bridges with the kind of attitude that Joe had maybe a little bit of? I mean, I heard you talking last night on that Jalen's too nice a guy. Not too nice a guy, but a nice guy, and that holds him back maybe a little.
Jalen's a wonderful person. He's a genuinely really good guy. It's just you gotta flip the switch, and he hasn't really flipped the switch yet. Joe had something to prove. Jalen's been a good player his whole career. He's a really good player in junior high. He was a heck of a high school player. Joe wasn't. Joe didn't play in high school, and then he went to prep school, and they didn't play him in prep school. And all of us, including me, we went in to watch. That's when Kevin was coaching them, and there's this white guy up there just dunking every which way there is and putting his teeth on the rim, and then he never got in a game. And really never got in practice. I went to see, I figured, well, I'll go watch him practice. He never got in practice. He just had so much to prove.
It's important, though, to have that kind of attitude. I mean, I got.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Joe had continued on the path he was on, he would have stayed on that path, obviously, and wouldn't have been what he became. But he had an incredible work ethic. I mean, all the stories about him sleeping in the locker room and all that stuff are all true. He had a blow-up mattress, slept in the locker room. Hard for some people to understand, but if you went to school here and played here, you'd understand that the Coliseum is a multi-sport place. So, if you want to get shots up, sometimes you have to come in at midnight, which Joe willingly did.
Bob, the Big 12 has been a very good league for you. You've talked about that many times. But do you get nostalgic for Big East days? Any times you guys sit around and talk?
I don't know. I was at Cincinnati. When I was at Cincinnati, I was really looking forward to playing in the Big East, and then I had some people didn't want me to play in the Big East, obviously. So, coming here, I didn't know a whole lot about the Big 12. I mean, we were at Cincinnati. We pretty much stayed up and down the coast. We didn't go out that way much, and then you get in the league and you find out how good the league is. The league is, when you look at just the facts of how many pros have come out of there. It's the smallest league by number, but when you look at how many pros have come out, more first-round draft picks, more first-round picks than all those leagues that have all those people in them. And it's a really, really hard league. It's an extremely athletic league.
Do you enjoy your time in the Big East, though? Matching up against, obviously, iconic coaches and all that?
I tell you what I really enjoyed is getting on the plane and going about 45 minutes to an hour rather than 3.5 hours. Yeah, it's what I enjoyed the most. But, yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, you're coaching against, some of how many Hall of Famers come out of the Big East? There's this Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer, and I don't know if it's fun. It's a great challenge.
Coach, I'm assuming you saw the net rankings
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. Obviously it's still December, but any takeaways or evaluations you can?
Well, I think it's sad whenever you have to try to embarrass people and then beat them by, You want me to tell you what it was? Yeah, 15, 26, 35, 32, 56, 31. Shouldn't have to do that. But I guess when they were 329, 305, 304, 350, 354, 330, I guess you have to.
Take sportsmanship away from the game?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was on the committee that that was never part of what the committee was trying to accomplish. I was on a committee that was back when Mike Slive was still alive, and we were on the committee in New York, and that wasn't the intent.
Bob, you got any thoughts on the football success Cincinnati's had?
Yeah, they used our money well.
You don't need to go further.
Did a good job with it.
I'm gonna ask you on your list where missing a shot, then rebounding again and running ranked for you.
Is what now, Mike? I'm
I'm
sorry.
asking, like, where on your list of worries, missing a shot and then grabbing it and running the other way ranked sounds like pretty high. Is that just playing harder like you're looking for? Or making shots, I guess, too.
Well, I mean, you've seen us. We're not the most assertive, aggressive group. I can't. I mean, that's a concern, obviously, but I don't know if that's the biggest concern. I mean, we've got a lot of concerns. Their athleticism is that's at least potentially. I don't want to make it too hard on Danny, but potentially that their athleticism is special.